Hello, friends. Have you ever noticed that the people who seem to enjoy the happiest retirements are not always the ones who earn the biggest salaries? They are not necessarily the ones who drove luxury cars, lived in the largest homes, or had the most impressive job titles. In fact, many of them lived surprisingly ordinary lives. They followed routines that most people would probably describe as boring. They skipped unnecessary purchases, stayed consistent with small daily habits, and quietly prepared for a future that others kept putting off. Now imagine two people who retire on the very same day. They worked for about the same number of years, earned similar incomes, and even lived in the same neighborhood. Yet 5 years later, their lives look completely different. One wakes up every morning feeling anxious, constantly worrying about bills, unexpected expenses, and whether their savings will last. The other wakes up feeling peaceful, knowing they have enough, enjoying time with family, traveling occasionally, helping others, and appreciating every new day. The difference usually isn't luck. It isn't intelligence. And it certainly isn't because one person discovered some secret investment that nobody else knew about. The difference often comes down to small habits that were repeated consistently over decades. The truth is that retirement isn't built in the final 5 years before you leave work. It's built in thousands of ordinary moments that seem almost too small to matter. Every decision to save instead of spend. Every effort to stay healthy instead of ignoring warning signs. Every conversation about money instead of avoiding it. These habits rarely make exciting headlines, but over time they quietly create a life filled with freedom, confidence, and peace of mind. Today, we're going to explore 10 surprisingly unglamorous habits that have helped countless people build remarkable retirements. None of them require you to be wealthy. None of them depend on winning the lottery or making risky investments. Instead, they're based on consistency, patience, and choices that anyone can begin making, regardless of where they are in life today. But before we get started, if you enjoy practical advice that helps you build a safer financial future, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we share straightforward tips designed to help you protect your money, avoid costly mistakes, and prepare for a retirement you can truly enjoy. If this video helps you in any way, give it a thumbs up because your support allows us to continue creating content that makes a real difference. Let's begin with something that almost nobody brags about. The first habit is learning to live below your means, even when you could afford to spend more. This sounds incredibly simple, almost too obvious. Yet it remains one of the most powerful financial habits in the world. Our society constantly encourages us to upgrade everything. A newer car, a larger television, a bigger home, the latest phone. We are surrounded by advertisements telling us that happiness is just one purchase away. But people who retire comfortably often think differently. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "Will buying this improve my life enough to justify giving up future freedom?" That one question changes everything. Imagine a couple named David and Susan. Every time they received a raise at work, they resisted the temptation to dramatically increase their lifestyle. They celebrated their success, of course, but instead of spending every extra dollar, they saved a significant portion of it. Their friends upgraded houses several times. They kept the same comfortable home. Others traded cars every few years. They drove theirs a little longer. At the time, their choices didn't look exciting. Some people even thought they were being too careful. Fast forward 30 years. While many of their friends worried about whether they could ever afford to retire, David and Susan had options. They weren't forced to keep working because they needed another paycheck. They worked only if they wanted to. That kind of freedom didn't appear overnight. It was created one ordinary decision at a time. One of the greatest gifts you can give your future self is refusing to let every increase in income become an excuse for increased spending. The second habit is treating saving like a monthly bill instead of an optional activity. Most people save whatever happens to be left at the end of the month. The problem is that there's rarely much left. Unexpected expenses appear. Birthdays happen. Vacations come along. Appliances break. Before long, another month has passed without adding anything meaningful to retirement savings. Successful retirees often reverse that process. They save first. When money arrives, a portion immediately goes toward the future before daily spending begins. They don't wait to feel motivated. They don't depend on perfect self-control. They simply build saving into their routine until it becomes as normal as paying the electric bill. Think about brushing your teeth. Most people don't wake up every morning wondering whether they should brush their teeth today. They simply do it because it's part of their routine. Saving works the same way. When it becomes automatic, it stops feeling like a sacrifice and starts becoming part of who you are. This habit also teaches something even more valuable than financial discipline. It teaches delayed gratification. In a world where almost everything is available instantly, the ability to wait may be one of the greatest advantages anyone can develop. People who consistently choose long-term security over short-term excitement often discover that patience pays far greater rewards than impulse ever could. There's another reason this matters. Life is unpredictable. No one knows exactly what retirement will cost. Healthcare expenses can rise. Inflation can reduce purchasing power. Family emergencies may require financial help. Markets can experience difficult years. Having consistent savings creates more than money. It creates confidence. Confidence that you can face unexpected challenges without panic. Confidence that a single emergency won't completely derail your future. Confidence that you have choices instead of being trapped by circumstances. Perhaps that's why people with strong financial habits often appear calmer. They know life will bring surprises, but they also know they've prepared for many of them. And that preparation begins with one quiet, ordinary habit repeated month after month, year after year. It may not look impressive today, but your future self will thank you for every single time you chose tomorrow over today. Because retirement isn't built through dramatic moments. It's built through thousands of ordinary ones that almost nobody notices, until one day the results become impossible to ignore. One of the biggest surprises many retirees share is that money alone never guaranteed a happy retirement. It certainly helped provide security, but the people who seemed most fulfilled often had something else in common. They had built habits that protected not only their finances, but also their health, relationships, and peace of mind. That's why the next habit may be even more important than saving an extra dollar. The third habit is taking care of your health long before retirement begins. It doesn't sound exciting. No one posts online about choosing a healthy lunch instead of fast food or going for a 30-minute walk after dinner. Those decisions don't receive applause, but over 20 or 30 years, they can completely change what retirement looks like. Imagine finally reaching retirement after decades of hard work, only to discover that your health prevents you from enjoying the freedom you've earned. The vacations you've dreamed about become difficult. Playing with grandchildren becomes exhausting. Simple daily activities require more effort than you ever imagined. Now, picture another retiree who made small, consistent choices over the years. They didn't become a professional athlete. They simply stayed active, attended regular medical checkups, slept well, managed stress, and paid attention to what their body was telling them. They aren't perfect, but they gave themselves a much better chance to enjoy the years they worked so hard to reach. Retirement isn't just about having enough money to live. It's about being healthy enough to enjoy living. The fourth habit is avoiding unnecessary debt whenever possible. Debt has a way of stealing tomorrow's freedom to pay for today's wants. Many people become so accustomed to monthly payments that they stop questioning them. A payment for the car, a payment for furniture, a payment for electronics, another payment for a vacation. Before long, a large portion of every paycheck already belongs to someone else before it even arrives. People who retire comfortably often think differently. They understand that every debt payment reduces flexibility later in life. They know that entering retirement with fewer financial obligations means every dollar they receive can go much further. Think about how peaceful it must feel to wake up knowing your home is paid for, Your credit cards are under control, and your monthly expenses are manageable. Compare that to waking up every day worried about interest rates, overdue balances, and bills that never seem to disappear. Financial freedom isn't measured by how much you own. It's measured by how little owns you. That simple perspective changes countless financial decisions over a lifetime. The fifth habit is continuing to learn, even after formal education ends. Some people stop learning the moment they leave school. Others remain curious for the rest of their lives. The difference becomes enormous over time. The world changes constantly. Technology changes. Banking changes. Retirement rules change. Investment options change. Unfortunately, scams change too. People who remain curious are often better prepared to recognize opportunities and avoid expensive mistakes. They ask questions before making financial decisions. They read. They watch educational videos. They seek advice from trusted professionals when necessary. Perhaps even more importantly, lifelong learning keeps the mind active. Many retirees say one of the greatest joys of retirement isn't simply having free time. It's finally having time to explore interests they never had time for while working full-time. Learning a language, taking photography classes, gardening, playing a musical instrument, volunteering, reading books they had always wanted to read. A curious mind rarely grows old. The sixth habit may be one of the least glamorous of all, yet it has an incredible impact on long-term happiness. They learn to appreciate what they already have. This doesn't mean giving up ambition. It means refusing to allow comparison to steal today's joy. We live in a world where someone will always appear wealthier, younger, more successful, or more fortunate. If happiness depends on having more than everyone else, it becomes impossible to achieve. Many financially secure retirees say they discovered something surprising. Their happiest memories rarely involved expensive purchases. They remember family dinners that lasted for hours, road trips filled with laughter, watching children grow into adults, quiet mornings with a cup of coffee, helping neighbors, celebrating anniversaries. These moments cost very little, yet they become life's greatest treasures. Gratitude also changes spending habits. When you're genuinely thankful for what you already own, you're less likely to buy things simply to impress people who aren't paying your bills anyway. That simple shift leaves more money available for the future while making the present more enjoyable at the same time. It's a rare habit that improves both your finances and your happiness simultaneously. Think about someone you admire who has reached retirement with genuine peace. Chances are they don't spend every conversation talking about money. Instead, they speak about people, about experiences, about purpose, about memories. That's because retirement isn't simply the absence of work. It's the opportunity to spend your time on what matters most. And the people who enjoy that opportunity the most usually began practicing these quiet habits decades before they ever collected their first retirement check. Each habit seems ordinary when viewed by itself: going for a walk, saving automatically, avoiding unnecessary debt, learning something new, practicing gratitude. None of these actions will make headlines tomorrow, but together they quietly build a future that many people dream about but never intentionally create. The remarkable thing is that it's never too late to begin. Whether you're 25, 45, or already approaching retirement, the next decision you make can still improve the years ahead. The future isn't built by giant leaps. It's built by small steps repeated consistently, even when nobody is watching. As we continue, the next habit may be the most overlooked of all because it has nothing to do with spreadsheets, stock markets, or retirement accounts. Yet it influences almost every financial decision you'll ever make. The seventh habit is choosing your circle wisely. Have you ever noticed how spending time with certain people makes you want to spend more money? Maybe they always have the newest gadgets, dine at the most expensive restaurants, or treat every weekend like a shopping event. Without realizing it, it's easy to start comparing your own life to theirs. Now think about the people who encourage responsibility instead of showing off. They celebrate milestones without turning every occasion into a competition. They value honesty, generosity, and stability more than appearances. The people around you shape your habits more than you may realize. If everyone in your circle believes debt is normal, you'll probably think the same. If everyone saves consistently and plans ahead, those behaviors begin to feel normal too. A great retirement is rarely built alone. It's often supported by relationships that encourage wise decisions rather than impulsive ones. The 8th habit is preparing for problems before they happen. Most people don't like thinking about emergencies. It's uncomfortable to imagine unexpected medical bills, home repairs, job losses, or family crises. But ignoring life's uncertainties doesn't prevent them. It simply leaves you unprepared when they arrive. The people who enter retirement with confidence usually spend years building a financial cushion. They understand that life doesn't always follow the plan. The roof might need replacing. The car might suddenly stop working. A loved one may need help. Markets may decline. Inflation may rise. None of these events are pleasant, but none of them have to become financial disasters if you've prepared in advance. Think of an emergency fund like an umbrella. Carrying one doesn't make it rain. It simply means you won't panic when the storm arrives. There's something incredibly peaceful about knowing that one unexpected expense won't completely destroy years of careful planning. That peace is worth far more than many people realize. The 9th habit is protecting time just as carefully as money. During our working years, we often believe that time will always be available later. We'll travel after retirement. We'll spend more time with family someday. We'll take better care of ourselves next year. But life has a way of reminding us that tomorrow is never guaranteed. The happiest retirees often share one thing in common. They didn't postpone every meaningful experience until retirement. They made time for birthdays, family dinners, weekend walks, phone calls with old friends, anniversaries, watching sunsets, helping neighbors, being present for the people they loved. When retirement finally arrived, they weren't trying to make up for decades of missed moments. They had already built a life filled with meaningful memories. Money can buy comfort, it can buy convenience, it can even buy experiences, but it cannot buy back lost time. That's why protecting your calendar can be just as important as protecting your savings account. And now we come to the 10th and perhaps the most powerful habit of all. They understand what enough means. This sounds simple, but it may be one of the hardest lessons in modern life. There will always be another promotion, another investment, another purchase, another reason to believe happiness is just one more achievement away. But many people spend their entire lives chasing more without ever asking themselves what would actually be enough. The retirees who seemed the most content often reached a different conclusion. Enough isn't about having everything. It's about having what truly matters. Enough means sleeping peacefully at night because your bills are covered. Enough means being able to help your children or grandchildren when possible without sacrificing your own security. Enough means enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of coffee without constantly worrying about the future. Enough means having the freedom to choose how you spend your days instead of being forced into decisions by financial stress. Ironically, once people discover what enough looks like, they often become happier than those who spend their lives endlessly chasing more. Take a moment to think about your own future. Picture yourself 10, 20, or 30 years from now. Where are you? Who is sitting beside you? What do you hope your days look like? What memories do you hope you've created? How do you want to feel when you wake up each morning? Peaceful, independent, grateful, proud of the choices you made? The amazing thing is that the person you'll become tomorrow is shaped by the habits you choose today. Not dramatic changes. Not overnight success. Just small, ordinary decisions repeated consistently. Every dollar saved, every unnecessary purchase avoided, every walk around the neighborhood, every medical checkup, every meaningful conversation with family, every hour spent learning something new, every act of gratitude. These moments may seem insignificant when they happen, but over years they become the foundation of an extraordinary retirement. Remember, retirement isn't the finish line. It's the reward for thousands of quiet decisions made long before anyone notices the results. And the best part is this: you don't have to change your entire life today. You only have to take the first step, then another, and another. Because small habits, repeated consistently, have the power to create remarkable futures. If today's video encouraged you or gave you a new perspective, let us know in the comments which of these habits you already practice and which one you want to start today. Your experience could inspire someone else who is watching. And if you found value in this conversation, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos filled with practical advice to help you protect your finances, prepare for retirement, and live with greater confidence. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, and remember that the future you dream about is built one ordinary day at a time. We'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.